Welcome back. The prodigal Sunbug has returned. If you're new to this channel, this is my aunt's car, 1974 Sunbug that she actually bought brand new. She drove it until about 1986, parked it in their garage because the front suspension was suffering some rust that was really make it unsafe to drive. So she's had it back for about a year now, and it's back here for a little spring tune-up. We got to swap out a carburetor, put some new rear shocks in. One of them was leaking, and fix a couple little odds and ends. So let's get started. Yeah, brand new shock absorber leaking. The trouble is with sometimes you buy stuff online, it may have been sitting around in the warehouse for 8, 9, 10 years. So I put air shocks in the car because I don't know if they were going to try to carry around 4 people or whatever. So we're going to take the air shocks out and just put regular standard gas shocks in. Pull the bolt out for the bottom of the shock, and for the top, pull the nut off, and then you're going to push that stud out through the hole in the body of the car, and then you can take the shock out. We got the replacement one bolted in. Now, the bottom of the shock is a little bit smaller, so they give you little spacers to fill in the space in between. And bolt them up. Hopefully, these will last longer than the other ones did. We're going to swap out the carb. This one was a cheap replacement one that I bought through on the car at the time, and it runs well with it, except when you are not on the gas and cruising along, and then you step on the gas to give it a little, to go faster, to accelerate. It doesn't want to seem to go. You have to feather the gas pedal to get the accelerator pump to like richen the fuel mixture up. So I don't know if it's not jetted correctly. So just as a test, basically we already rebuilt the original one that was sitting around for 30 years, and we're gonna swap that out and see if it makes any difference in how it runs. Let's pull this thing off. It's 13 millimeter, if I remember. Yes, it is. Good. Okay, we are going to pull all the linkage off of this and put it back onto this where it originally came from, because the linkage that came with this carb I didn't like. It didn't have provisions for the little throttle return dash pot here, and there was something else also. Yeah, that the throttle cable hookup was a little bit different on the replacement one. So this is the original stuff from 74 going back on the 74 carb. Seems to line up nicely. We'll use the big nut. Tighten up our choke here a little bit to have a little more closed. we are going to use the solenoid off the new one. All right, we're going to plop this back on with a new gasket and see what we got. We got all our rattly tins tightened up. We had to put a longer bolt with a nut on it because the case is already stripped out on the inside, so it wouldn't hold them anymore. So, and some washers to keep them from rattling around. The carb is on. We played around with the idle sitting here in the garage and got it idling pretty good. Now we're going to go take it for a little spin. Let's see how it starts up hot. I think it's much better. Kind of lugged that up a hill. Went no problems. All right, the drive went well. I found one other nagging problem. The mirror drops down when you're driving. You hit a bump, so gotta tighten this up a little bit. I think I'm gonna put a little, I already had some silicone on here before. I'll put a little bit more to keep it from wanting to back off when you wiggle it around. I'll put that back in, and the car should be going home. I changed the oil, so getting the look over here. A little more sludge in here than I was expecting to see. You got to remember this engine sat for 30 years. I think I changed the oil in it about 4 times already before she took it back, and this is a year of whatever other sludge loosened up. So we'll clean all this up and put it back together, new gasket, and should be good for another year. My Aunt Debbie's time machine is all set, ready to go home. She could relive her youth with this car. Thanks for watching.